Hello and welcome to those who have joined us so far. I just wanted to recognize that you're here, and we're just going to hold on for just a couple more minutes to see if we get some additional people joining us, and then we'll start. Okay, hello. Thank you everybody for joining us. I think we don't quite have everybody we were expecting, but I think we have enough. We'll go ahead and get started, and others will join us, I'm sure. Welcome to this information session about the low-code fundamentals course that is being presented by PlantinApp in conjunction with LaunchCode. We really appreciate you being here to learn more. We've been working with Claire Anderson, who I'm sure that many of you are familiar with, to develop this course, and we're really excited about it. So on this first slide you're seeing here, I just want to comment for a second about the quote you see there about 65% of application development will happen with no code, low code. That quote is actually from Gartner, and that's a statement that they made predicting the future of low code development, and they're predicting that's going to happen by 2024. So low-code development, as you'll learn more in this presentation, is a rapidly developing segment of the technology sector. So I'll keep moving along here, and I just want to give you an idea who's on the call with us today. So I'm Patrick Anderson, and I'm a technical success manager here at PlantinApp. I've been using PlantinApp and the products that preceded PlantinApp, that became PlantinApp, for over 10 years now. I used to work for a federal contractor, and I used those products to do a site that was for the Centers for Medicaid and Medicare Services. And my career spanned over 20 years. Bogdan Lutescu is the founder and CEO of PlantinApp. He started Dean & Sharp, which is the company that became PlantinApp, back in 2009. And PlantinApp spun off Dean & Sharp in 2019. Linda Boone is with us today. She's our product team lead, and she used to work at Equifax and used the products that became PlantinApp there as well. And Dale Warner is our head of support, and he has a long history in software development and project management, and also a long history of using the products that preceded PlantinApp. So a little bit more about PlantinApp. Just to give you a brief history here. So as I mentioned when I introduced Bogdan just a moment ago, PlantinApp, or Dean & Sharp, started in 2009, and it quickly became the top leading vendor in the .NET Nuke module development, and it soon came to the point where it had over 4,000 customers. And then in 2019, PlantinApp spun off Dean & Sharp because basically we saw that the way Dean & Sharp modules were being used was really moving towards the idea of low code, people building very complex applications with mainly, almost completely, with a user interface. And then, so in 2021, PlantinApp experienced 130% growth. That's really very exciting for us. And then going into the future, here in 2022, we're launching our partner program. We have customers in over 14 countries. And then we are hoping to soon launch a free plan, which is going to be a very exciting thing for us to for more and more people to be able to use our product, and also launching a marketplace. So this is going to be a place that we're going to build where people can create apps with PlantinApp that they'll then be able to sell and share with others. And probably the most exciting thing here is that we are soon going to move into our Series A funding as a startup to looking for investors. So this is all leading towards what our ultimate goal is, and that's democratized development. I'll talk a little bit more about that as we go through the presentation here, but basically the idea of democratized development is that we can get as many people as possible involved in the development of an application for a company. So who is using PlantinApp? This is just an example, by no means comprehensive, an example of the different clients that are using PlantinApp. I'm going to highlight just three of them that are really near and dear to me because I work with them directly often. And that's our client with the United States Navy, and then the government of Bermuda, and the United States Parachute Association. I'm highlighting these because I work with them, and I'm going to refer back to them a couple times during this presentation. So what is no code and low code, and what's the difference here? So we're just going to talk about that briefly, and I'm going to pause for just a moment because I want to make sure I didn't say at the beginning, but if anyone has questions, please feel free to use the chat and the Q&A to just jump in and ask any question that you have. And I'm going to try to monitor those, and also Linda and Dale will be monitoring them as well. So a no-code, low-code platform, there's a few things that are very important here. First of all, it should have a visual builder, and that's a way for if you're defining the user interface or business logic within the system, it's a way for people to pick things and drop them in, and then see what that's going to look like. And this really rapidly accelerates the development of a system. And it should be configuration based. That means that almost all of the functionality of the application is going to be achieved through using a UI, forms, and settings that you make in the system. And so this is how the amount of code that needs to be put into the system is greatly reduced. So, and those two things, the visual builder and the configuration based, that gets you to the no code level. So low code comes in when you start adding code to achieve complexity in the system. So it's, if you have a no-code platform, no platform is going to completely solve 100% of the various complex requirements that can come up. But with the ability of adding code into the system, you can start to achieve much more complex outcomes, and you really have the ability to build a system that's going to be as complex as a fully custom built system. The other, and this is perhaps where I get most excited about no code, low code, is that you have functionality from the very first moment that you start designing a system, so that you can start immediately looking for feedback from the stakeholders who are helping you design the system. That's a really crucial thing there, because sometimes that feedback can happen. You get something, you can be in I've actually done this before, where I'm in a call with somebody, I get feedback, I make changes immediately, and then in the very same call, I'm able to ask for feedback and say, is this what you're looking for? And that's where one of the places that no code and low code just shines, because it's so exciting to see that happen so rapidly. Whereas with a custom built system, you would have a lot of upfront coding to happen before you can actually start presenting your product to the stakeholders and asking for feedback. What can be built with low code? And this, you see a lot of words on the screen here, but by no means is this a comprehensive list. This is not comprehensive in any way. I want to go back and talk just briefly about the clients that I mentioned earlier that I work with. So I work with the government of Bermuda, and they use our system heavily for public forums, for collecting information from citizens. They've used it a lot during COVID to collect information about vaccines and about COVID exposure. And their ultimate goal is to build a complete headless CMS, where their everything for their government portal will be managed through PlantinApp and presented in various ways for the different departments' websites. Very exciting things going on there. The United States Parachute Association uses the PlantinApp for membership management and for the management of programs. They also use it for education. They have their parachute course is housed within the system, and so that's really cool stuff they have going on there. And the United States Navy is using that also in an education way. They have a system where they are educating users about the explosive and firearm safety. So let's look at some options here and what their challenges are. One of these are two, completely opposite end examples of what you would do instead of using a no-code, low-code system. You could buy a software as a service system. The problems with these is that they tend to be one size fits all. And just real quick, and some examples, when I'm talking about software as a service, I'm talking about things like Wix or Trello, Zendesk, Salesforce. Those are software as a service systems, and the problems with them is that it's one size fits all. They tend to be really difficult to customize. It's very complex to integrate them with other systems, and often their pricing gets expensive because it's per user pricing. And then on the opposite end of the spectrum, we have custom development. And some of the challenges there is that it can be very hard to find the developers that you need to create a custom system. Delivery time can be very long because you have a lot of work that needs to be done to actually get to get a fully functioning system. And then, of course, you need to maintain it, and so you need to retain that IT talent, which is expensive to maintain the system. And you're accumulating technical debt, which basically means that you have these systems that only you know about. You need to maintain them, and it becomes very challenging to make changes to the system. So then that brings in the no-code, low-code revolution, and so here's a statistic over here that says that over 90% of software developers' time is spent on tasks that can be solved with low code. So just take a quick look here on this quadrant here we have of slow and rigid going to flexible and fast. So of course, on the slow and rigid side would be software packages that need to be configured by IT staff, and then of course custom development. Whereas this can be rigid, custom development gives you a little bit more flexibility, but still slow. Moving over here, we have SaaS applications, which of course increases the speed, but a SaaS application is, once again, as I mentioned earlier, going to be very rigid. It's going to be difficult to make changes here. But then on the flexible and fast end of this quadrant, we have the no-code, low-code systems that can be used by more people, so we get a lot more rapid, and also because we're not fully building everything from scratch, we get the much more fast development, and we have much more increased flexibility in the systems. So let's take a look at the idea of the value proposition of low code. So in these 5 areas here, let's take a look at the off-the-shelf SaaS systems. So they shine in, of course, a go-to-market cycle. You can get a system up really fast with using a SaaS system, and often they are more affordable. However, what you're losing there is you have a lot less ability to customize. They aren't very scalable to changing needs for the system, and it takes a long time to react to the change in the market for your application. On the opposite end here, with custom development, custom development shines in the ability to customize the system. So you can do anything you want when you're doing a custom developed application, and they also can be very scalable because you're building it from scratch and you can make it exactly what you want to be, and it can grow. But then where the difficulty lies there is in that. Getting the system live and running, takes a long time with custom development. The ability to react to change there is very challenging as well, because you have to custom custom code everything. And of course, it's not going to be very affordable because you have to have all that expensive talent or expensive contracts with other companies to build the system from scratch. Right here in the middle is PlantinApp, and with the customization, you can create anything you want really with PlantinApp. High level of customization ability. While not quite as fast as a SaaS system, you're going to be able to get a system up and running a lot faster with a low-code platform like PlantinApp. And of course, the system is also very scalable. You're going to be able to grow quickly with as changes are needed for your application, and the ability to react to change is going to be very fast. You can make changes really quick in a low-code platform, and much more affordable than custom development. So who can build with PlantinApp or a low-code platform? So we have three different groups of people that we're looking at here. Business users that are tech savvy, and so by that we mean like business analysts, that those types of people that that also have a lot of technical know-how, are great candidates for building applications with low code. Professional developers, people who are already developers, also they can achieve really great things for a few reasons using low code, and one of them is that they can do things a lot faster, but still their coding ability still comes into play because there's still things that need to be coded, but they are able to achieve the simpler things a lot faster because they can use the building blocks that are there in a low code application. And then really anyone that is willing to learn and has a passion to learn and has some good software knowledge already, this is a great candidate for building with a low-code platform. An example of the kind of person we're thinking here is like an administrative staff who is an Excel power user, just really knows how to work Excel. Great potential there for building with low code. So I want to make sure we point out here that we are low code developers too. So of course we have full stack developers on our staff who actually build PlantinApp, but beyond that, we also use PlantinApp to build applications, and we're really serious about this. I mean, our entire corporate infrastructure is built on PlantinApp. Our licensing system is a PlantinApp instance. Our learning center is a PlantinApp instance that was built by us. We have a community portal that we use for the people who use PlantinApp to communicate with each other and ask each other for help, built on PlantinApp, and it was built actually by people in the community. Our marketing system is built on PlantinApp. Our partner portal is built on PlantinApp. And the thing I like to talk about the most is the fact that our DevOps system is built on PlantinApp. So the thing that and I know Bogdan likes to say this too, PlantinApp is built by PlantinApp. When we are developing a new version of PlantinApp, when we actually go to make the official build that's going to be released to our clients, we use a PlantinApp instance, and we have a button in there that kicks off the actual building of the application. So we really, as this quote says here, we eat our own dog food. We use PlantinApp all the time, and before we make a release, we test the releases on our corporate infrastructure as well. And this is just a sampling of the kinds of things we have. I forget what the count is, but I don't know if Dale, you know what the count is, but we have in the teens of applications that we use within our own corporate infrastructure. So let me just talk for a second about the platform capabilities. So we have a UI layer, which that's where we have a form builder and we have a page builder, themes that can be applied to pages to get different looks So these are all things that make up the UI, the actual website for an application. And then there's the data layer. So we have a database builder, and I'm going to show you, real briefly show you that in just a moment. But when we use the entity builder in PlantinApp, we're actually creating database tables, and we're creating relationships between tables, which has a really solid data structure. We have a search engine. There's a SQL console where you can access those tables actually built into PlantinApp, so you don't have to go onto the server and access the database there. You can actually access it directly from PlantinApp. We have business logic in the system, so you can build workflows. We can do automation and add scripting into the system. And then, of course, the integration layer is crucial here. So in PlantinApp, when you're creating your database, you're also creating at the same time an API. So we have APIs that are automatically created so that you can get data into and out of the system through APIs so that other systems can use your data. But as well, we can integrate with other systems easily. You can set it up and you can access APIs into other systems such as Salesforce, for example. And so really, we like to say we can integrate anything in PlantinApp. So now I'm going to take a moment here to quickly show you what you're going to learn to build in this course in just a couple weeks. So let me just switch over to another screen here. And I'll just refresh this real quick to make sure the site is alive. So this is really a basic ticketing system. And we use this as a way to just teach you the different components of PlantinApp. So basically what you're seeing here is a list of tickets. I'm logged in as a regular user into the system. And this is still refreshing. I hope it's going to come up here. There we go. Okay, so if I click new here, I get a form here, and I'm just going to type in some really basic stuff here. I'm not going to get too creative here. And I'll leave this default information that was loaded automatically because it's pulling from the logged in user. So this is who I'm logged in as. I'll just put in a phone number here. I'm going to leave that default there, and I'm just going to click add. So I've created a new ticket in the system, and you can see it right here, the one that I just created. So what I'm going to do now is switch over to a user interface that's for a support user in the system. And just need to find it. Don't think I closed it.
Patrick, while you're finding that,
Yep.
This is Bill Warner. I just wanted to mention, if you have any questions about this, there is the Q&A button on your Zoom session. You're welcome to open a question there or in the chat, and we'll answer them or refer them to Patrick. So, good deal.
Great, thanks. Yep. Okay, so now I switched over to a different user for the system, and this is someone who's actually a support agent, and I'm going to just go to the tickets tab here, just so you can see a list of all the tickets in the system. So you can see the previous user was only seeing their tickets, and now I'm seeing all the tickets in the system. And then I want to show you a dashboard that is created as part of the course here. So just a few stats up here at the top about the existing tickets in the system. And of course, you can see the one that was just created right here. This is the one I just started up. So having shown you all that, I just want to show you a few things in the actual configuration of PlantinApp. So I'll switch over here. If I go to entities, these are the, when I was talking about that you're actually creating the database when you use PlantNap. So these are the database tables or entities that have been created as part of the course: is ticket, status, note, document, activity type, and activity. These two create some tracking in the system so that you see the history of a ticket. So this is all part of what you're creating during the course. And I'm just going to show you a quick example of something really easy you can do, just to give you an example of how quickly things can be changed based on feedback. So this is a list of pages that are on the site right now. I'm going to go to tickets, and I'm going to look at this page right here, this create new ticket page. So this page is a default page that whenever a regular user first logs into the site, they are directed directly to this page because the primary purpose is to create tickets. So what happens is when they log in is they get immediately put onto the create ticket page. So it's kind of just all the fields in a row in a line here. So I'm going to change it. Let's just imagine I got some feedback from somebody saying that they thought that layout was not quite what we wanted. So I'm just opening up the form builder here, switching to layout, and I'm going to put first name and last name on the same row. So the first thing I'm going to do is pull first name over here to about 50% of the page. Just getting quite over where I wanted it there. There we go. And then I'm going to take last name and just pull it up on the same row there. And now I got them on the same row. And I'm going to also put email and phone on the same row. So this is going to make the form just a little bit more compact. I'll save it like that. And I'll give a quick refresh to the page. And now you can see I have a more compact form. So it's a very simple example, but I just wanted to show you how quickly some things can change. Okay. Oh, and so the other thing I wanted to do here is open this back up for editing, and I want to go down to the Create New Ticket button. And so let's say this is the list of actions that happens when I click on the Create New Ticket button. I can get a display error, but that's a conditional display error based on the roles of the logged in user. Here's where the actual new ticket gets created. Here's where the attachments get attached to the ticket. So what this does is take the attachments, and then this actually adds the attachments to a ticket. And then finally, we display a message to the user saying that they've successfully created the ticket. And if there's something else I wanted to happen here, all it would be a matter of opening up this very, very extensive list of different kinds of actions that we can add to a button. And you can pretty much make anything happen that you want to on this button with all these different actions here. And you'll notice one here, so we were talking about low code, and here's one that's actually called code. So executing JavaScript, executing a Razor script, running a PowerShell script. These are all things that can be done. So that's just a quick overview of the kinds of things that you'll be learning and how flexible low code can be. So now, yep.
Patrick, that brings a question. Did you say that application that you just showed, that's what they'll be building in the course?
Yes. Yep. This is actually the application that will be being built in the course. Absolutely. And to make it very clear, in case anybody's confused about this, everything you're seeing here, so this ticket dashboard, the tickets here, there's many other pages that you're not seeing, and that you learn about how to make the pages not be seen as part of the course. When you first start up an instance of PlantNap, you basically have this right here. This page is all you have in the entire system. When you go to configuration and look at the entities I was showing you earlier, all you have on this page when you start it is document, image, role, and user. Those are the default system entities, and that's all you have. So all this stuff is things that you're adding and building to actually create an application. Any other questions while I'm in here?
No, we're clear.
Okay. All right, so that's what you're going to learn to build in the course. So let's take a look at some things that are really cool that ultimately you could build by learning Plantain App. This one right here is something that I learned about very early on when I started working at Plantain App, and I thought, wow, what an amazing thing this is. So the Vail Health System in Colorado, they started collecting data and learning that suicide rates were becoming really extensive in their area, and they decided they really wanted to do something about it to help the community. So they used Plantain App to create an employee assistance program that was initially intended for their employees to be able to connect their employees with local therapists, but they then extended it into the community so that anybody in their community can use this application to get help, to be connected with a therapist that meets their needs. And as part of the application, it even has a scholarship program, so that people who don't have the ability to pay can apply for the scholarship program to get help paying for their therapist as well. Really cool application, built by 2 low-code developers in a matter of 20 days. Very exciting thing here. This one is a self-assessment for health mobile applications. So the idea here is that so for instance, medication is heavily regulated by the Food and Drug Administration, but a health-related mobile application doesn't have regulation. So the purpose of this system is to provide the ability for health mobile applications to get an assessment and to be approved before doctors can recommend them to patients. And this system was built by 1 low-code developer in just 12 days. This one here is a project management tool for a legal department. So the idea here is that they needed a way to integrate new legislative acts into their internal processes and procedures. So they created this app that has a task management tool so that the departments can collaborate with each other, and it also includes approval flows in the system as well. And this system here was built by 2 low-code developers in just 2 days. Now, along with that, Matt, so you see this 2 developers, 2 days, but do notice also that here you see an interface that looks a lot closer to what I was just showing you a moment ago. So, yeah, along with that quicker time frame, as maybe not as much customization, but still an incredibly functional app in just 2 days. So this is a really exciting example here. This one is a transport management system for a company that does deliveries, same-day deliveries in Switzerland and neighboring countries. And they built this application to track the progress of their orders. And so this is an exciting system that they've built here. And you can see that it has map integration directly in the site. And this one is a business intelligence procurement dashboard. So this is basically, it was designed to aggregate data from multiple sources so that it can create a single point for different businesses to interact. So, and it also includes the feature for each company to create its own customized dashboard. And this system was built by 1 low-code developer in just 20 days. So for you to get to the point where you can build those really cool things, taking our course is a first step, and I'm so excited that you guys are here. So commitment to the course is going to be key to success. We encourage you to really engage early. So there's 7 major topics that are being covered in 8 weeks. It's really a good idea to start early, and if you finish the course early, because it's self-paced, if you're finishing early, that's wonderful, because you learn it faster, and as part of the course, we're going to ask that you come up with your own application. So initially, while you're taking the course, you're going to be building that ticketing application as part of the course that I was showing you earlier, but we also want you to be creative and build something for yourself that then you'll be able to show. So engage early. Establish a pattern. We have videos, written materials, your hands-on development, building that ticketing application. We encourage you to start a pattern that you follow each week so that you can be methodical and get through all the materials. And use the resources. You're going to have access to all kinds of resources, and we're going to talk about those just a little bit more in a moment, but use all of them. And I'll show you examples of what those are in just a minute. Do the homework. So building that ticketing app as you progress through the course, that's one of the main things you're going to be doing as homework. Also, we want you to brainstorm ideas for your demonstration app. That's the custom app that I was mentioning just a moment ago that you're going to do yourself. And we're going to be providing office hours, which I'll talk about more in a moment. And we really encourage that you attend those office hours, bring your questions there. Start building. Commit time to build the demonstration app. And you really should be starting your demonstration app no later than halfway through the course. And please ask for help by attending the office hours, by reaching out on the community platform. So the more you ask, the quicker you're going to be able to break through roadblocks in your application, in your course. So here are the training resources that we're providing here. Of course, there's the curriculum, the self-paced course that's going to be available at academy.plantinap.com. And when we get closer to the start date of the course, you'll be receiving more information about accessing that. That course includes video lectures, which you'll be hearing a lot more of the voice you're hearing right now when you listen to those videos. And there's also written material that you can go through. There's quizzes built into each section, and at the end there's a certification exam, so that you actually receive a PlantinApp certification. Other resources that are available to you, we have extensive videos at youtube.com/plantinap, and we also have our product documentation at learn.plantinap.com. We are going to be providing office hours twice weekly. We're going to do one in the AM and one in the PM, and we're going to be reaching out to you, asking you for your opinions on what would be the best times for those to occur. So our schedule is still TBA at this point. We're going to ask people to sign up ahead of time, and we'll provide a way to do that. And we'll send reminder emails a couple days so that you remember that you need to sign up. If there's no signups, we won't hold the office hours. So we will ask people to just sign up ahead of time so that we know we're going to have somebody there, and we'll be there. The community portal is, I mentioned it earlier, it's a place where people who use PlantinApp go with their questions, and many actually go there to answer questions as well. It's a great system that we have set up there with lots of feedback back and forth. And so we encourage you to use the community portal to ask your questions during the course. And that ties in with mentorship. So seek out mentors. We're here, and we're willing to help. Use the community portal, attend our webinars, which one of them is Low Code Campfire. I'll talk about that more in just a moment. Attend the office hours. I think you've heard me say that a few times. Please attend the office hours. Don't be afraid to ask questions. And I just want you to know that our community of users and the staff here at PlantinApp, we're all very, very friendly. We really are. We like to help. Sometimes I'm taken aback by the amount of willingness in the community of PlantinApp users, how willing they are to help others. It's really great, and they'll be willing to help you as well. And then attend our weekly webinars. We have a webinar called the Low Code Cafe on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. every week, and the Low Code Campfire. So the Low Code Cafe is a webinar style where we present a topic each week that shows you different ways that you can use Plantinap. And then the Low Code Campfire is more of a meeting format where the participants come in and they exchange ideas with each other. People come in with questions and they ask the other participants, and it's really cool the kind of conversations we have on this call each week. We get great ideas. Even us here at Plantinap, we get great ideas from our participants on that call on how to use Plantinap. So this is a really great one to attend.
So we have another question about
yep.
just what is a general time commitment to be successful over these 8 weeks?
I would say at least 4 hours a week, but certainly you could spend more than that. It really depends on a couple of different factors. I mean, of course, everyone's different, but how fast you go through the course. And then, of course, don't go through too fast because maybe you won't be retaining everything. But then probably once you get through the course, a commitment for creating your demonstration app is really all dependent on how complex you decide your demonstration app is going to be. So I think it could vary a lot, but I would say minimally 4 hours a week. Dale or Linda, do you have any thoughts on that question as well?
I would say, yeah, roughly, if you want to start it out for the full 8 weeks, about 4 to 6 hours, just depending on how much you want to play around with the actual application that you're building, would get you through. I know when I first started, I took the course. I took it in about 2 weeks from start to finish, but I already had some familiarity with it. So
Yep.
it's more about whatever level you're comfortable with. But if you give at least 4 hours a week, you'll be successful.
Good. And I was just going to add, of course, more is better. They're going to have access to the entire product with lots of. I mean, you will not get through the entire product in
yes.
8 weeks, but you'll understand all of the areas and all of how to use it, and then how to dig deeper. So you know it can take up as much as you want if you want to go deep with it.
Yes, thank you, Dale. And those are all really great points. Just emphasize that you, I think we'd all agree that we're still learning about Plantinap right now. So
yes.
So definitely in 8 weeks, you're not going to learn everything there is to know, but you're going to have a really good understanding of how to accomplish what you need, and then you know, and also how to, like Dale said, how to dig deeper and find more details.
Yeah, and there's another question about the timing, and I think that's on the next slide, isn't it, Patrick? The timeline. Yes.
Let me move on to that there. Yep. So the question from Angelina is, since it's self-paced, is there an ending time limit or a closing date? The course is going to, applications for the course are closing on June 3rd, and the course starts on June 3rd. And then the Academy actually starts on June 6th, but you'll be getting your invitations to the course before that, so you can start anytime after you get your invitation. Estimated completion is around July 15th, and the estimated demo day is July 29th. So really, your primary deadline is this demo day. When you finish the course is really up to you. This is an estimated completion, but the demo day on July 29th, that's your goal. That's what you want to aim for, is that you need to have an application that you created on your own available on July 29th. So Angelina, I hope that answers your question. And will we have access to the platform after we finish the course? So you'll continue to have access to your to the environment that you worked in during the course. And I'm not sure exactly how long that will last, but certainly you'll have access to it for a significant amount of time afterwards.
Yep. So there will be continued access to it. We will not restrict it. And of course, we also have the free plans. So then new application can can be created if you want to try other things, create new systems, and so on.
Great, thank you, Bogdan. We have another question that came in. How affordable is Planting App for a small business? Bogdan, do you want to touch on that one?
Sure. Again, if it's a simple application, it might work on the free plan, so there will be no cost except the building cost of the person building, the time put into building it. Then there's a few levels. Usually we see small businesses maybe being on around the 6K a year license, and then maybe besides that you have the implementation cost, which again depends on the complexity of the project. We have a few small businesses, quite a few small businesses in our portfolio. Usually I would say a total cost of ownership on average for them it's around 10K a year, which is again depends on what problems they are solving, but if they are solving a problem that's big enough, it's a small cost for them.
Great, thank you. Okay, if anybody has other questions, please feel free to pop in there. And we're into the Q&A session also as well. So please feel free to ask any more questions you might have. And of course, I think you're probably all familiar with plantingapp.com/launchcode, because you probably went to that page to register for the webinar you're in right now. But the registration is also available on the same page. So you can register for the course from plantingapp.com/launchcode. And I'll pause for a moment to see if there's any more questions, or if anybody, Dale, Linda, or Bogdan, if you have any additional thoughts. We did get another question come in. So Angelina is asking, where are you headquartered, and how did you find LaunchCode for partnership? So we found, I'll answer the part about finding LaunchCode for partnership. Some of our employees are in the St. Louis area, and that connection happened through a connection between Planting App employee and LaunchCode.
Yeah, this is Linda Boone. I'm actually located here in St. Louis, and with my former employer Equifax, we hired a lot of people out of LaunchCode there. In fact, we hired 3 people from LaunchCode to actually work in the DNN Sharp tools.
Great, thank you, Linda. And then Bogdan, do you want to touch on the part of the question about where we're headquartered?
Sure. So in the US, we are pretty much all over the place, so everybody's remotely. Officially, we are headquarters in New York. And we also have teams in the UK, and we have a development team in Romania. So we are truly an international business, and I think Patrick mentioned we have customers in 14 countries right now. So we have quite an international reach. And adding to the partnership with LaunchCode, I think it was a very good fit, because LaunchCode is already starting getting requests about low code. As Patrick was showing to you, low code is becoming a huge thing, and it will be the main way people develop systems, develop software. So for us, of course, it's good to have more people learn it, for our customers, our partners, to have a workforce that already knows the technology, already knows low code, the concepts, and so on. So truly, it's a win-win partnership for both LaunchCode, Planting App, and of course for the students taking the course.
Wonderful, thank you, Bogdan.
I wanted to circle back on the previous question about how affordable. Just point out that on our website, plantingapp.com, there's a pricing page, very easy to find, and it describes what you get both from all the way from the free plan up through the enterprise plan, and gives you an idea of what kinds of things. There's a great amount of things that can be built in the free plan, and you'll see that there. But take a look at that. It'll help better will help describe what the various levels are.
Great, thank you, Dale. I don't see any more questions coming in. So based on that, I'll pause for just a minute to make sure any others come in, but if not, then I think that we are wrapped up, and I thank you all for attending today. It's very exciting, and I really hope we get to see you in the office hours. I had to plug the office hours one more time. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.